Shalom, shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rekakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders that you and Master Rule and teach well in the scriptures. Salutations to my Akim that are doing this work in truth and faith and in sincerity. Salaka, give me one moment, Akim. Okay. We're just going to recap today on the flood, and Lord willing, we'll go through with a few scriptures. Texas is not used to being hit this hard, and so they were unequipped or ill prepared for this type of disaster. I'm gonna let this play, and Lord willing, follow through with a few scripts.
Did you know there's one common reason why dogs bark excessively, shiver, and engage in destructive behavior? It's got nothing to do with thunderstorms.
Arctic temperatures and rolling blackouts hammering Texas as the country sees record lows throughout the South and Plains states. More than 3 million homes and businesses without power and heat, including more than 1 million residents in the Houston area. City officials slamming the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, the private company that runs about 90% of Texas's electric grid.
We've been hit hard by nature this week, but we can't deny that some of this is a man-made disaster as well. And the 5 million residents of this county and really this region and this state will deserve answers from Earth.
Now pay attention, this lady said man-made disaster, but this whether it be man-made or whether it be natural, the disaster comes from the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua.
That can allow us to send one human being back in time.
Okay, let's check this out.
All right, y'all, a new round of wintry weather is moving in. Texans are heading into another dangerously cold night. Millions of us without heat. This is a live look at the roads, which are already packed with snow and ice. Thank you for joining us. I'm Cynthia Isaguirre.
And I'm Chris Lawrence. We're going to be on for a full hour tonight to give you the latest on another round of that ice and snow and hold officials accountable for all these outages. We're all feeling the impact of this record-breaking cold. Some of you are telling us what it's like in your home after not having power for days. Tonight, we're getting answers from ERCOT and Governor Abbott himself. Because of the controlled outages, families in parts of Fort Worth have been ordered to boil their water. Other people are isolated and alone, and the only lifeline left to them is a cell phone. But the service has slowed down significantly in some areas, and all this is happening is yet another.
So now, as a result of the temperature dropping so bad, So you have one calamity with the temperature dropping real bad, and you have another calamity with the power outage and them having to do rolling blackouts to sustain the power grid. And so it went from that calamity also to you having to get store-bought water or boiling your water because pipes are contaminated. So this is one catastrophe after the other.
Snowstorm moves in. Pete is going to kick off our team coverage tonight. Pete, what can we expect in the hours to come?
Well, as you just saw in that video, Chris, it's already snowing in parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and this is just the primer for some more significant snow a bit later on tonight. In Weatherford, it's 18. Not snowing here. If it is, it's a snow flurry.
It's not saying anything about the HAARP. Let's find out.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's RFG. I'm back at it today, and I'm here to explain what's really going on with this cold air front that has hit the United States. All right. Very, very crazy shit going on around us. And I've been paying attention to, what's been going on in Texas for the past few hours now. And I was reading this right here. If you just put in Texas weather on Google, this is what you're going to see, folks. Right here, they have issued a winter storm warning for Houston and Galveston. And it says that dangerous ice storm expected to create life-threatening conditions through tomorrow morning. All right? In Houston and Galveston area. All right, so everybody in that area, if you could possibly move to a different location, or if you have an underground bunker, which most people don't have, you would be a lot safer. Very, very crazy shit going on. So I basically looked at, the pictures of what's going on in Texas. You have the lowest temperatures in Texas history, and in a span of only a few days. And they are also claiming that there are massive power outages in the same areas that were hit with the snowstorms in Texas. All right. Now, I'm just gonna be straight to the point. No time in modern history has there ever been a snowstorm in Texas of this magnitude. All right, no time in modern history has there ever been a snowstorm in Texas of this magnitude. All right. And in the same week, only a few days ago, there was a tornado, like a mini sandstorm tornado in Las Vegas, where I'm at. There was also a tornado in North Carolina a few days ago. All right, so this tells me that one of two things is going on. One of two things is causing this. It's either a pole shift taking place, where the United States is going to be located either at the bottom of the earth or at the top of the earth, and because of that, it's going to not get as much sunlight as the other pieces of the earth, which would cause North America to be extremely cold. Okay, this is one explanation. All right, that's one explanation, but there's something very strange about this, because if this is true and we are actually experiencing a pole shift, my question is, why is it only Texas that is experiencing this weather, this out of the norm weather? Because the fact remains that if North America was placed at the top of the world or at the bottom of the world, all of North America would be experiencing extremely cold weather. All of North America would be experiencing the same weather of Texas. Why is it that Texas is the only state that is not colder than Alaska? Alaska is much colder than Texas. So, and you never hear about Alaska experiencing massive power outages. So that tells me that the power outages in Texas have nothing to do with the temperature. Because once again, like I just stated, Alaska is much colder than Texas. And Alaska never experiences massive power outages. So why in the hell is Texas the only state that is experiencing massive power outages? And they're saying that the temperature in Texas is going to get so fucking low where they have issued a goddamn a winter storm warning of life-threatening conditions. All right? This definitely tells me that HAARP could be involved. HAARP could be involved in this. All right? So right here, you see, Texas produces more power than any other state in the U.S. and it went dark anyway. And here's why. You see, this is all a fucking agenda. I definitely think this is all a fucking agenda. And we could be looking at HAARP. HAARP has satellites that can actually shoot energy waves like throughout the atmosphere. All right, these satellites can shoot energy waves throughout the atmosphere, and these energy waves can either be warm or cold. All right, so I think they're shooting massive amounts of cold energy waves onto the land of Texas to create this massive cold air front. And if you don't think the government has this technology, all right, you can just go watch the James Bond movie, James Bond Die Another Day. And that is where they depicted a massive satellite that actually reflected the sun's heat and projected the sun's heat in a directed ray, a directed solar beam, all right, that could hit any target that that the satellite projected. So basically, the satellite took a piece of the sun's solar rays and reflected it back onto any point that it was pointed to. So basically like a giant fucking magnifying glass. All right, that's what this fucking the satellite conducted itself as. And they also have the opposite. They also have the opposite where they can literally shoot energy waves onto the Earth's surface, and they can manipulate the temperature of those energy waves. All right, we are on Illuminati card weather satellite, folks. We are on Illuminati card weather satellite. All right, they showed you in the goddamn cards. They have a weather satellite. All right, that is used to manipulate the fucking weather. Guys,
Salakia. The elites have an Illuminati weather satellite card. I don't know what it is. I don't play this game. I've heard about it, but this is interesting nevertheless that they would put all their business out in a card game and and make moves according to how they see fit, and it reflects on the card. It's trippy.
You better start waking up, because they're not even hiding it anymore. They're putting it right in front of your faces. So like I said, my question to the people who are gonna say it's a pole shift, I do believe, don't get me wrong, I do believe that pole shifts are very possible. And we've had pole shifts in the past. My thing is, if this is really a pole shift, why is Texas the only state in the United States experiencing this type of weather right now? All right, because if it is a pole shift and all of North America is moving towards the top of the earth or the bottom of the earth, that means that all of North America should be experiencing the same fucking weather. All right, so my question.
Now pay attention, okay, with a lot of this stuff that's going on. Okay, we must know and understand that the Lord is causing all these things to happen in the earth, whether it be by Esau, Edom, and his technology, or whether it be naturally, or a natural disaster. The Lord is in His will that these things must be done. Okay, so, well, we have to know that it doesn't matter if Esau, Edom is doing this. The Lord is in control of all of it. All right? And so, this brings me to this precept. This is Ephesians chapter 5. Verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. See that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Okay, these days are truly evil. Evil means bad times. All right. So we're redeeming these days because they are evil. These are bad times. The Lord, Yahweh, why Yahushua, is causing these days to happen. Okay. So that judgment must be accomplished. Judgment must be accomplished so that we may enter into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so we must know and understand. And we understand that Esau Edom plays these games with the numbers, saying that so many people died, but it's going to get worse. These are the contractions of Yahushua returning and coming back. Okay, so we'll go back into the weather and see what's going on with back to this lady.
ERCOT and the state once this is over.
ERCOT CEO saying the company is dealing with more outages because of frozen wind turbines and limited natural gas supplies.
I think what has happened here is a response that kept the grid from collapsing, that kept us from going into a blackout condition. And certainly we need to look at what has happened here once we get everybody back online, which is the number one priority.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott placing the blame squarely on ERCOT and has called for a review of the electricity system in the state.
The power generators froze up and their equipment was incapable of generating power, and then on top of that, the natural gas that flows into those power generators, that is frozen up also. What ERCOT should have been able to do is to have backup systems in place. They have provided zero explanation why they do not have backup systems in place.
The state's
have backup systems in.
I wanted to go back to
to
these propane tanks. Now, at the cusp of this calamity, the propane tanks were getting thin as far as the supply went. That's because the demand was so high. And so the supplies were very few. Even still to this very same day, you don't have a lot of propane.
Explanation why they do not have backup systems in place.
The state's water supply is now in jeopardy. In Galveston, Texas, the water supply is critically low. And in Houston, the mayor warning its residents to conserve water.
I'm Camila Bernal, CNN correspondent right now in Dallas, Texas. And this is the situation in Texas. It is so rare, so abnormal to see Texas covered in snow. And at first, it was exciting for a lot of Texans. This is something that had not happened in years. Like doing this, picking up some of the snow was not possible in many years here in Texas. It's a lot of snow. It is cold. It's been really cold over the last couple.
Just wait until the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah starts ramping this stuff up. And you got people dying by the thousands. Okay, not single digits, not hundreds. But you got people dying by the thousands. Just wait. The Most High is not playing. We're entering into judgment. And, you know, these people don't care. They think that this is a natural catastrophe. And it's not being proclamated by the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua, okay, which he ordained this particular calamity to happen.
Couple of days, but the problem was that it was,
and the paramedics are not going to be able to keep up with the bodies. The police are not going to be able to keep up with the bodies. This is just an intro. 5, 10 people dead, 20, 100. That's nothing. You wait until the Most High starts stretching.
It's not just fun in games. It was fun in the beginning, but once it becomes 1 day, then 2 days, then 3 days without any power, without any water for some, without any heat, that's when things got really complicated. And that's when Texans started to get upset, started to ask questions. Why in the world was Texas not ready for these temperatures, for this cold? And so what happened was that there was a lot of finger pointing as to why this is happening. And so the governor, Greg Abbott, specifically went online and went and talked to a lot of reporters here in Texas and started blaming ERCOT. So ERCOT is the company. It's a private company that manages the electrical grid here in Texas. And so what they said is that they're basically trying to do everything that they can to get the power back, but they have not been able to do so. And so there's been that political finger pointing sort of back and forth with all of this, and residents are pissed off. They're just saying, look, we don't care about the back and forth, we care about getting our power back. And at the moment, they just don't have answers. It is, let me give you the time, it is 9:20 a.m. here in Texas, and the problem is that they're still not being told when exactly they're going to be able to get this power back. There's no promises. And I do want to answer some of your questions about what the situation is here in Texas. Tara specifically was asking, when will we get the power back? I have a toddler and a teenager, and we lost power in the middle of the night on Monday. And so that's the problem. The storm came in Sunday night into Monday, and still people like Tara are without power. And ERCOT is not giving them any answers, according to the governor and the local officials. So there's really no answer to this, unfortunately, Tara. Some people did get their power back overnight, and we're being told that it was because the low usage overnight, that sort of freed the system a bit. And so yesterday we were talking about 4 million customers without power. Today we're now talking about 2.5 in the state of Texas. But the problem for people like Tara is that they're not getting an exact answer as to when it's going to happen. Now, Jason asked, with the electricity out, what does that mean?
There was a man that died in his car a young Jake man that died in this car. And it's gonna be a whole lot worse. Okay, this is just one natural disaster. All right, the Most High is gonna cause many natural disasters, on top of the economy crashing, on top of the famine of food. Okay, on top of the famine of hearing a word. All right. So this is just an intro to what's really going to go on with you people out there. All right. Since 2/3 of the nation of Israel will not take heed, destruction is upon them, and destruction is upon the heathen. All right. And salvation is for the elect. Okay, the 1/3, 144,000.
For the COVID-19 vaccines in the state, and how will this impact their rollout? So there are many delays as to the COVID-19 vaccine, and what is happening is that they're not wanting people to be out in the street. They're not wanting people to be getting the shots at the moment. And
all this is for that very same day. Okay, like I've mentioned in another one of my videos, you got inmates getting out now because of if they get vaccinated, they get early release, and it's going to be worse than that. Revelation chapter. And so this is what the build-up's for. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Okay. Let's go with 13 and 15. And he had power to give Salakia. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, that's the system that's been set up. The laws and legislation that is set up upon America. This is the beast. This is the system. Okay, and if you don't adhere to this system, you should be killed. All right. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
And I have seen local officials speaking about this, and they say they will get the shots. People will be able to do this. They just may be delayed. So people who had these appointments for this week, that's probably going to be rescheduled for many people here in Texas. And so even though it is going to be delayed and maybe a bit complicated, there are some local officials that are promising that they will get those shots into the arms of the people that were promised. Of course, it is still too soon to tell exactly what is going to happen with the shots and with the vaccines, especially because there is this long pause. There are no deliveries at the moment. People are not out on the roads. And so we'll have to wait and see what exactly happens as to the COVID-19 vaccines. And every city is doing it differently. Places or the counties are.
Look at this woman's hands. Her hands are darker and redder than her face. Okay, I don't know if this is a heathen or
they're all doing it differently, so we'll have to wait and see.
Or she's Hispanic, but it's cold out there because she was just playing in the snow, and her hands are darker than her face.
get specific instructions or directions from the counties and the cities who are administering these vaccines. Now, Anna is asking, is the deadly winter storm related to climate change? The weather is getting crazy everywhere. And so I do want to clarify that I am not a scientist, but I do know that this is not something that normally happens here in Texas. We're having record-breaking temperatures. I think it was Tuesday or Monday in the beginning of this storm. The temperature was something that we had not seen in about 70 years here in Texas. And so you are seeing things in a different way here, things that were not normal and that, of course, are weather-related. So it is likely that this is all linked to climate change, and we're likely going to see scientists look into this and study this and specifically tell us what this is all about moving forward. But it is important to point out that this is not normal in the state of Texas, and we'll have to wait and see if it becomes something normal in the winters here. Now, Justin is asking, will increased costs to restore power be passed on to customers in Texas? That is a great question, because people, of course, do not want to be paying any more money for this, but they do want this to be resolved. And so Governor Greg Abbott says that he wants an investigation into how this is being handled. And so I think this is a question for the Texas legislature and what they will do about this. Will they invest more money into trying to get this all figured out in the future? I'm not sure at this point, but because so many people are suffering, this is getting people to act. So you're seeing lawmakers all over the state promising an investigation. They seem to be pointing those fingers at ERCOT. That is that private company that runs about 90% of the electrical grid here in Texas. At the moment, it seems like both Republicans and Democrats are pointing the finger at this company. Of course, if there is an investigation, we will have answers as to what happened and if they are to blame. But at the moment, you're seeing local officials, including the governor, blaming this company at the moment. And then there is another question from Amy that says, why is this winter storm in particular so dangerous? It's becoming so dangerous because people are literally freezing inside of their homes. So we're talking temperatures of 20.
It's going to get worse than that. Let's go back to Hart and I'll close it out.
There's a certain strain of bacteria called Lactobacillus reuteri that will help you grow bigger balls. There was a...
Alright y'all, I just saw a video about how this snow is fake, and I don't doubt it because it's looking real fake to me. Look at this. It's like, it doesn't melt really. Look at my hand. It's like not. We're about to see. I got a candle. Oh my god, this crap is fake. Look at this. I just watched this video. Oh, look at this. This ain't real. Ice don't do this. Ice does not do this. What the heck? Oh, I'm joking this up. Ice does not do this.
Okay, I'll end it there, giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS that rule and teach well in the scripture. Salutations to my Akim out there that are doing his work in truth and faith and in all sincerity. Until next time, Shalom.